for the folks who've seen this already, does it hold up the second time?
I liked it better the second time.
So I've seen this. This is probably like my third or fourth time seeing this, and I disagree with John. It was more fun the very first time for me.
The question what I'm trying to get at is, I haven't mentally gone through this exercise yet, but to go and stop and try to go through and make sure that the screenwriting is as clever as it appears as I'm watching it.
It's
because
not.
I saw a lot of hot takes that if you think about it for more than 5 minutes, a lot of the logic falls apart.
It does.
I don't.
Okay.
Well, we could talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I'm not a huge fan of time travel movies, but this one actually does a fairly decent job of
I
a
really
particular
enjoyed the shit
type
out
of
of
time
watching.
travel where everything is the causality is preserved.
All right, I wanted to
Go
watch.
back in time. No, go ahead.
I literally wanted to watch 12 Monkeys the entire time I was
Same
watching.
thing,
this.
causality.
Oh, I love that movie too.
That's a great movie.
Which is 12 Monkeys, I think, tells this story better than this does.
Well, it's also
I
got
like the original.
But that's a
better.
much bigger movie.
5 times the budget. Yeah.
Yeah, it does have 5 times the budget, but that doesn't change
No,
the fact that I
I
wanted
think
to
it's like
watch 12
50
Monkeys.
times the budget. This
No,
movie
I-
cost $10.
Well, I remember really loving Primer, and then after that, I saw this one, and it was just immediately I was like, this kind of rivals Primer for me in as far.
It's
I'm
easier
not-
to follow than Primer.
It's easier to follow than Primer.
easier
for
to
sure.
follow, and I just love foreign films. I just love like the European sensibility in terms of filmmaking, and this movie was just a lot of fun, very low budget. Scott nailed it, by the way. This is Super 16, like right out of the gate.
It's very, very kind of. You ever watch The Walking Dead?
It's dirty as shit.
Yeah, it looks
like-
crummy.
Yeah, it's
kind of
grimy.
flat and kind of cruddy looking, and it's like
Yeah.
the skin tones are off, but that helps the story, I think.
But
It
I
kinda
will
does.
say, like one major thing I wanted to bring up about this movie is there are certain movies like this that do something special, and that is, I think this movie created sort of like this villain with a costume and everything, and that's really cool when you can do that
For
in
20
a
minutes.
on a very small scale, very weird way, like. But I mean, really, like what's behind Chris there is a villain with a costume. I mean, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
could argue that it's. I just love that aspect of it.
I'm not sure it makes sense that he wrapped his whole head in that thing,
No,
but it's a great visual.
No, it doesn't. It does
it's
not.
amazing
was
because
still-
Yes,
both
it
of the
made
movies,
sense. They didn't want you to know it was him.
both of the movies
Yeah,
this
but-
week have incredibly
Right.
unrealistic head injuries. Like it's
But
Like, this
You
is
know,
overkill.
I do like
Before-
that the guy calls him the pink mummy.
the pink
Yeah, the pink
mummy,
He's even got
yeah.
a little mummy eyebrows. See,
He had a
That's
cut
the
on his
director
head.
too, right? The scientist is the director.
Yeah, the scientist.
Yes,
Oh,
the
is he?
scientist is the director
I
He's
didn't
the
realize
writer-director.
and the writer.
Okay.
So he wraps his whole head in bandages because he has a injury on his forehead.
I mean, I get that head wounds bleed a lot, but this seems like overkill.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
no,
does
but
seem
the
like
head
a
wound
lot.
doesn't bleed enough.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it bleeds
think-
for like 20 seconds, and he
Yeah.
puts the
And
bandage
then
on
the
it, and then
Curad would work
Yeah,
The rest
just
of it is
fine.
absorbed.
It saved them having to do process shots with the two guys in the same shot.
yeah, great.
Of course.
That's all it's there for, man.
So I
but
don't
I
know about
think
you guys.
Jared-
I
I
watched-
wish
wait.
I wish
Could
the
it be
third
there?
actor had like a
it
a
possibly
white
be-
tux or something.
Could it also possibly be though because he didn't
third,
want
the
the
third
girl to see who
Hector.
he is?
Yeah, the
Hector
third
3,
actor.
Hector 2, and Hector 1.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you know what, Jared? You make a good point that he is turned into a movie monster. And what I love about that is that we know pretty much the whole time that it's just him with a head injury, wrapped in
Yeah.
bandages. And it's still disturbing
Yeah,
to have him like ordering that girl around the woods and stuff with that shit on his head.
and he's even got a
creepy.
weapon, and that's a
That was the least believable part of the whole film. It's like, why would she do anything this guy
Why would she do anything?
Anything.
Yeah,
There
that's
are
the
some
part that
major
really-
problems, logic problems in this movie.
Right.
Best actor in this movie. Best actor in
girl?
this movie right here.
The girl.
Right?
Yeah, she was
Yep.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's a Basque actress.
But
What I
Yeah,
found,
she hates Spanish films as much as I do.
Yeah.
go watch Wreck 5 more
watch
times.
out, man. My turn's coming up.
I love this movie in that it has that feeling of a dream where you keep trying to fix something and it keeps getting worse. And this picture
Right.
this foreshadows everything, because this is the whole movie right here, is this guy
Yeah.
picking up all the crap that fell out of his car.
Right.
And
Yeah, I
it's
love
like pretty
that.
much him the whole movie, is he's chasing after his own mistakes, trying to fix them.
I also love the opening where it's just like point of view shots from his car, and you don't even know who he is yet. You don't even
Yeah,
know.
right?
You haven't met anyone.
Yeah.
It's just what an interesting way to start a film.
And
But that's like
the-
I think oftentimes you can tell a good filmmaker in the first like 30 seconds of their film.
There are
those
really
choices.
good
This guy's a
filmmaking
good
choices
filmmaker.
in this movie. Like there are really good filmmaking choices in this movie,
Mhm.
all the way up to like him getting hit in the face with the table from earlier,
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Table that he
Right,
bought.
right.
and like that whole section of him going back into the house as Hector 2, and like it's interesting and good, but then as soon as Hector 3 hits, it's like fuck.
Was
Yeah.
anyone though? Was
Well,
anyone?
that was the point where it was like, all right, like it takes you a few minutes to kind of get your bearings. Like, okay, I think I kind of know what's going on. Then you get confirmation that you know what's going on, and then it felt like the director was trying to, all right, you think you know what's going on, but now I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But you
they
know
had
about
me-
all of that, and it's just treading water.
But then they
the
had me.
entire
Then when
time.
they bring Hector 3 into the equation, it's like, okay, come on.
Yeah, you're just treading
Like
water
it's
the
maybe a
entire
little.
time.
It's a little much at that point.
Was
No,
anyone though surprised when you found out though that his supposed dead wife was actually that young girl?
No.
Yeah, I did. I was
No.
surprised.
Oh,
I was surprised
I
because
had
I thought I
forgotten,
would have
so I was
caught it
surprised
when
again.
they showed her when the camera shows her lying on the ground the first time, deliberately upside down, so it's kind of hard to see.
But
Yeah.
her neck is all fucked up. Like
Yeah. No, I did not pick it up. I did
No,
not
the
pick
film
it up.
is
and I was
just like
wondering
you, John. I was surprised again.
was
I'd
wondering
forgotten.
if
I
that
was
was a
like, oh, it's
cheat.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I
film
was
is
wondering if
exactly
that was a cheat, which is why I asked if you guys had seen it already. Did you catch it? the
No,
second
as
time?
soon as
It surprised me again.
as soon as I saw him grab her foot on the roof, it was like
She's
this
wearing
was
Converse.
not gonna wear fucking Chuck Taylors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. The Chuck
And then-
Taylors were a sign, but I was like, well, maybe his wife. It still got me though, because I was like, well, his wife was just going to the like market.
No,
or
it was the
something.
other way around. Is that she took his wife's clothing, and it was just like,
Yeah.
fuck.
There's only
Uh-huh.
4 characters in the whole movie. Come on, it's like
Right.
Well, and
You
I
get
love,
down-
I love that the movie
you
was
get
shot.
down to it when it was going to happen because I knew
The
it was gonna-
director as the scientist is the best actor in the movie.
He's really good too.
Yeah. Well,
You just said
No,
the
I
woman-
liked this movie. Is it one of those things where like Birdman or 1917 or something as you go, really good stunt doesn't hold up for repeating viewings, which is why I'm looking at Scott and Jared right now. Or John and Jared.
Well, I
Well,
did
John-
enjoy
John
it the
would know, I
second
mean,
time.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I did enjoy it the second time, and
Yeah, please repeat what you said, John.
okay. So what I was going to say was the first time I saw the film, I think I was chewing on trying to figure some things out, and the second time I kind of knew where it was headed, so it gave me more clarity. And that is, this is all about this looping time, this little zigzag that this guy does back an hour and a half in his life, and we're not seeing the first loop.
That's what I thought
Right.
too. It's already happened.
We never get to see why it happened the first time, because we're following Hector 2, and all he's doing when he's pushing the girl out into the woods and telling her where to stand and all that, he's trying to recreate what he saw.
right.
And we don't know why it happened initially. So we're kind of dropped into the middle of this looping time thing.
That's 100% right. And I never thought about that, because the first time he sees that woman, that's him doing it. It's already happened.
There has to be a reason she was standing there in the first place that wasn't the reason of him trying to recreate
No.
events.
But there's not. That's
He's a Basque
part of it.
nationalist.
And this is where time travel movies, make you crazy.
No, you know what the thing is?
Fighting
Remember
real
the
life
part where
shit.
the scientist guy shows you that big Z diagram on the
Yes.
whiteboard?
Yes.
Yeah, he also at his bedroom when he was writing this film had a gigantic double Z on his wall, and he's saying, "There it is. We go back in time twice, and he's gonna lay out all the details."
I do have to point out
it was
that-
very screenwritery.
I do have to point out that the version of this movie that I watched,
Huh?
subtitled when he turned it around and it said September,
And
It's
it says
subtitled at September, and I just lost it. I lost it for like a minute and a half. I was like, I can't with this. This is bullshit.
I wouldn't have understood the movie if they hadn't done that.
Right. That if you switch the E and the R back and forth, you have no idea what month it is ever.
Yeah. Is this
Especially for
Mars?
someone
What's
who's
going on
dyslexic, I'm
here?
offended.
This must be a Star Wars movie.
The Turkish Star Wars.
No, but
no,
but
it's just that it's just films about time travel. There's two different
Italian
ways of doing it.
Spider-Man.
One where everything is causal, where everything already happens, you can't change history, and
Right.
ones where you can, like the Marvel movies.
Yeah, this is 12 Monkeys.
Where there's
was
there's screenwriter logic and there's time travel logic, and this is time travel logic, and it's good, but at the end
also-
it's kind of like you realize you've been kind of on a funhouse ride. You know, it's
yeah, but I
you're
also
not-
love the end because I
you know,
don't think
it's all
an
just
Amer- an
gimmicks. It's all
American
stuff they
film-
placed on your path to give you a little thrill at the end, and at the end you just don't. I didn't feel anything at the end.
also hold on. Hector's a bad actor. The guy who's playing Hector
No argument,
is
actually.
bad at acting. I'm
Uh,
sorry. I
Bad
don't
at
care.
He was the weakest link.
He was.
She's
I liked his averageness though.
she's
He was a
good.
very
The
average
fucking-
dude.
The scientist is good. The wife is good. He is bad at acting. Maybe
I don't know if
he
I'd say
was-
he's bad. You know what? Acting physically sometimes is a lot harder than acting
Yeah.
like saying lines.
Yeah, I know. I've done it. It's
Yeah.
just he's
No, he's a
not-
balding, out of shape, middle-aged dude. That's perfect because you don't see those guys in movies anymore. You know, you
Not
don't.
as
Yeah, I
protagonist.
kind of liked it. I was like a schlubby dude as the lead. Okay,
Yeah,
here we
that's
go.
great. I like that part.
But
quite a
that's
bit.
not that's not what I'm talking
I
about.
just think he's
Oh,
he's a
just
bad actor.
No, he's-
doesn't communicate anything.
No, I'm just.
ever.
That might be a language thing. You know, I'm always.
No,
giving it a grain of
He's
salt.
also just creepy as fuck.
I mostly watched it with the subtitles off because I'm decently conversant in Spanish. Like
Oh, we did.
it's he gives nothing to me. Like it's just flat.
Well, I like the I like what John pointed out about because I think there's maybe a bigger discussion to be had here where I do love stories and movies where you're just dropped right in the middle of a situation, right?
In
Yes,
media arrest,
in-
it's
and,
called.
and this is a movie
In
that
media res is great.
Yeah.
well, and this movie is you don't realize, like John just basically pointed out, I think correctly, that you don't realize that you're just being dropped into a movie here, and you are. And then also, just like I was praising the opening of this film, and I think a lot of you agreed, I really loved the ending of this film, and I think an American filmmaker would not have done either of those. The ending is this wonderful, wonderful long single take across the roof.
Yeah.
To reveal the dead woman, and then into the backyard, and it doesn't cut, by the way, so I don't know how they did that, but and then
Visually.
he's just putting the chairs out, and he's like, just leave it, just don't do anything. Like,
I
and they
like
just sit there,
And an
they
interesting
sit there
choice.
as the
That
they sit there
was
as the camera
wonderful.
pulls back,
Yeah.
and he's letting you see the car go, you hear the woman die. It's just everything is so cool, and he's just like, don't do anything, just
Don't
sit
do
here.
anything.
Let's
Just sit
let it
there.
roll,
Just sit-
man.
David Cronenberg wanted to remake this with Tom Cruise as the lead.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh, it would have been like a Vanilla Sky thing, because that's another Spanish film that was
Yeah.
remade.
or Valhalla.
I'll
If
make
you
a note
haven't
on,
seen Abre
David
los
Cronenberg.
Ojos, it's fucking brilliant.
But
I
I
think a
do,
note on
I do
Cronenberg,
love
actually,
that
it's-
ending, and not only because of the way it was staged, but just the fact that after all his machinations, where he was trying to get it all
I
fixed,
give up.
he did fix it. He
No.
had to kill a girl, but he fixed it.
Yeah.
No, singing your chaise lounge at the end of the film, saying just let it all happen, is like it's almost an admission of failure. It's almost like standing up and walking away from your typewriter says, I'm not going to write any more goddamn script. I'm done.
Right.
I mean,
it's
he's
like
got a
nothing
body.
left.
He does have a body to get rid of.
So
Yeah,
why is that good?
exactly.
But he has to. I don't know. There's a yes. Chris raises really great questions about this film. But fuck if I didn't have a great time with this movie, and
Okay.
also, it was enough. It was tingling my mind enough to where I really was like, what the fuck is gonna happen in that? And then I like how I think he's really fun, or he's really smart, and it's really fun how he reveals shit to you. How he
Yes.
shows you how shit was happening, and you keep going, oh, you know that, and I don't think I do agree with Chris and maybe some of you where you're like, maybe it's not the smartest thing, but there's such a fun quality to it when you go, oh, that's that.
Right.
That's how that.
Yeah.
It's like a Rube
the
Goldberg
Funhouse
machine.
ride
It's
part.
like, oh, he's driving the red truck, which is going to hit the car that he was in. And push
Yeah,
him
you're
off.
like he's gonna ambush himself and.
But
There
that
was
right,
something
that
to-
doesn't make any sense. Like,
Yeah.
It seemed
literally
like it
doesn't
was an
make any
accident, actually.
Yeah. It
Like
kinda
he's
did.
not paying attention when
He
he's driving
wasn't.
the
I don't
red
think he
van.
deliberately hit him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, he
Go
did
watch it
deliberately.
again.
He
Go
totally
watch it
deliberately-
again.
Dead silence. All right. Here's when I go to
There's
the
the
thumbs
clip.
up, thumbs down.
That's the
this one, I
clip
think
right
we're
there.
done.
All of us going like, what?
We're done.
No, I like
know
this
what?
movie.
I was like, I saw it. I watched it. I didn't quite understand most of what was going on, but I understood at the end it was kind of like this thing. I'm not a better person for having seen it, but I guess I'm glad I saw it.
Ah,
You know, it's like
That's-
a
okay,
complicated
question.
about
If,
this.
hold on.
Fury, what
I
does
have-
dealing
if
with
you're
Nick Grace
fucking-
look like?
I have very complicated response to this. It's like it was great, but it wasn't good.
If
It
am
was
I a
predictable,
better
but it wasn't
person for watching this movie is your criteria, then we should just end this here because
I know. I
Watch
guess I just
Fucking, I don't know.
I don't ever want to watch movies that make me feel like a better person. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's just you walk along
I
and you
think
see
I
like
do the opposite most of the time.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
want to watch
walking
movies
on
that
the
make me
beach.
feel like, holy shit, I'm glad I'm not that bad.
it's like walking on a beach and seeing a dead dolphin on the beach. You're like, okay, I saw a dead dolphin.
how often does that
No.
happen to you?
That's great. You know, I can tell my friends I saw a dead
He is
dolphin.
from Santa Cruz.
It's like, am I a better person for seeing
I
a dead
still
dolphin?
want to know how often that's happened.
Just saying is all. I'm
I
not
would
saying this film's
rather
dead dolphin, but
I would
maybe it
rather
is.
see this film than a dead
Most of those dolphins die because of the boardwalk, you know.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, just run into it head on. They're just
Yeah,
like,
Bop and they're
Oh, it's-
dead.
did
It's
you see that?
sad.
Well,
Japanese
they
documentary?
think they're birds running into
Yeah.
glass
They want to
panes.
go and share. They want to play skee ball, but they can't because it's got flippers and they have to get on
Yeah.
shore. And it's
Okay, well then
sad.
here's just a general question: who just had fun watching this movie? All right, split. It's split 50-50.
Uh-huh.
Jim,
So-
do you have anything else to say? Because we have to turn it over to Jim at some point.
That's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
That's how these things are structured.
So it's interesting as opposed to the first movie.
it's gym time.
It's
Jim
Jim
time.
We gotta have a little
Filler
thing.
time.
We gotta have a little thing that comes up.
Jim's corner. Then-
No, it's
then
like
Jim's
Jim's
music
thoughts
gonna
with a little
play,
like
and it's like, what you got to say there, Jim?
it's got a no, it's a little banner that comes up. Jim's thoughts with like a little bell.
I'll work on it. I'll work on
Yeah.
it.
Goes
Or
right in
cloud.
one ear and out the other, just like the movie.
Okay, hold on.
So you know,
Jim's thoughts.
I really didn't. I like foreign movies. I liked the fact that it was in a foreign language, and I thought, okay, this could be cool. And I just really did not like the movie until about halfway, like a third of the way through it, and then I was like started to get interested, and oh, this is interesting, yeah. And then it started to wear off, and then finally, when the third Hector showed up, I'm just like, oh, fuck this.
Fuck Hector 3.
Yeah.
Out of all the Hectors.
But here's the thing. Going back to John's sort of synopsis or whatever, is it only 3 Hectors?
Yes.
That's-
We don't know how many
starting to get
Hectors.
Thank God it's only 3 that we know about for sure.
There can only be 3 Hectors at one time, but there might be an infinite number of Hectors.
Oh, jeez.
This goes to the observable theory of.
Well, now we're back to what was
films
that movie we watched a few months ago?
Nothing. Go away.
Time travel thing, or not the time travel thing, the infinite universe thing.
Stalker?
Yeah.
No, what was
Yeah.
that? Vast
Who
of
saw
Night?
what?
Not predestination. Coherence.
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 Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Christ.
yeah.
Right,
Oh,
right.
God.
No,
I'm back.
no,
That was
I-
different though. That was like
It was different,
there are a million
but-
Hectors and they show up occasionally in each other's timelines and fuck with each other.
No, but
Yeah,
I
is
think there's
Coherence the one where they're stuck in a house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coherence
There's
For the
like a
first
million
half, and then
houses.
the second half, they go to another house, and
But it's the same house.
it's the
it's
same
the same
house.
house because
And
they're
the
at
lead
the
is-
outside.
And the lead is
The real question is it the same Hector? I got a feeling that number 3 Hector thought he was better than the other 2 Hector.
Oh, constantly.
Number
That
one
was-
Hector also thinks he's better than the other 2.
Well, yeah, but he's just a
Every
creepy
new
guy.
iteration of Hector thinks he's the real Hector, right? I mean,
I
that's
you know
love
what
I love that the guy was jealous of himself from 90 minutes ago. He's like,
Yeah,
that guy's in my house with my wife.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
He
Like,
couldn't grasp that simple concept that he was the same guy.
also there's no way that
that's a
schlubby
different
guy
guy.
could get.
That's
a wife
not
like
me.
that. What the fuck?